Hi, Anthony from I Defend Krav Maga. I'm with Taryn from GoTarryn TV. Guys, have a great week. Be safe, be aware, eat well, and be healthy. Look after yourselves. Cheers.
Go ahead and start right now. Thank you so much. I know we're a couple minutes early, but how are you doing?
All good. All good. Yeah, just making some lunch quickly and all carrying on, eh?
That's great.
How are you doing? How's
yeah,
move?
Very good. Thank you. Since you and I last spoke, it seems like things are kind of getting somewhat normal here, but we're still in the pandemic kind of, just the cases, all that kind of good fun stuff.
There's talk of a new strain, so I don't know what's going to go down with it. So let's hope that it's not going to kill business.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, exactly. So has that hit there, or is that coming? Is it coming from Europe, or?
There has been some speculation on it, but nothing's. I think just people coming to December, I think have to just be a little bit more cautious on their do's and don'ts. And from a point of view of try and keep it to a minimum, even though it's still December and it's open and the levels have come down, but you never know what can spark.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
How's the wife doing?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, we're almost there.
And you're doing well.
Yes, thank you so much. Doing good. Just we had our American holiday of Thanksgiving yesterday here as I record this.
Message I meant to send. How was it? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Likewise. Now, where you're at, is there an equivalent of such a holiday of celebration?
No, not really.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
No, today the only equivalent to this is the Black Friday specials.
Of course. Oh yes. No matter where in the world, consumerism will always find its way. Are you going to take advantage of any of that?
You know what? I've done a 20% off joining fee. When you sign up, you get 20% off collagen. So you can get some collagen when you sign up. Get a packet of collagen, 20% off, and then I've got some tactical gear available as well. But it's not like a real special. It's like for everyday use. So prices are reasonable. You can get it. It doesn't have to be a Black Friday. You can get it. It's always available.
Yeah, no, that's great.
When's the what?
Literally this week, sometime as we record this week. So just every day is just kind of, we're in a holding pattern right now, so to speak.
The first one, eh?
The first girl, third child, but first girl though. Mm-hmm.
Third child, first girl. Okay.
Yeah. So we got two little boys. That'll be the two big brothers.
Somebody's got to come in and rule the nest, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
The queen.
Hey? Yeah, I can't believe you've got 3 children. You look like a child yourself.
Oh, thanks. Well, I dress like one, but I appreciate it. You're too kind.
Whatever you're doing, you keep on doing it. You look young, man.
Thank you. It's definitely the way I'm dressed. That's probably I'll credit that.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't yet, I'd say I still feel young, but I look in the mirror and I feel very gray.
Oh, it's definitely, I think it's a psychological thing a lot too. I always feel like we're as young as we feel. And so if we feel good, then we can be as young as we want to be.
100%. What do they say? You're only as young as the woman you feel.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. That's a very, very good point.
I'm a lot younger than you.
Absolutely. Now, knowing you, Anthony, you're in the middle of cooking a healthy lunch. So do you care to share what's on the menu there with all the people watching?
Well, not really healthy this time of the day because it's like a good bit of starch to burn and the rest of the day off. So
Sure.
like some snackwich, like a healthy snackwich, like on a, let me just show you. I don't know if I can, let's see.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
like a
there we
snack
go.
with cheese, kind of like no oil, no vibe, but like with tomato, basil. So yeah, so we're just gonna chow this quickly before we go
Nice.
into our next training session to get some starch in so we can burn it off during the day. I'd rather eat it now than eat it late afternoon with with late suppers. Rather eat your breads and whatever if you have to eat breads now. Rather eat it now than late afternoon, so it sits with you and carries with you. So yeah, so eat that, burn it off later after a training session. And then yeah, so we'll have this with some salad and take it from there.
That's excellent. Very, very good. And of course, you always get your workouts in too. I mean, so that's a good way to burn it off, like you said.
Yeah, so like I don't mind. Look, I'm not. I think Nats is the fundu on real food eating and the correct way of doing it. She's outstanding in her methodologies and changing and going this keto. And a lot of people do it, and a lot of people have great results from it. I think the big thing is, like, from a point of view, is I think, like, listen to your body. I think that's the key. So from a point of view of listening to your body, you got to just say, all right, my body needs a bit of fats and oils and so forth. So you got to do it. Some bodies react very well to like different diets. Like I had a friend of mine who I swear by, like just before, like after gym, have like some jungle oats with some honey, and eat that and like let that burn through the system till lunchtime. And a friend of mine couldn't have jungle oats, and he did, as you're a doctor, you would know, like he then did a blood test and found out what's good, what's bad, what's making him gain weight, what's not making him gain weight. And it found out that oats was actually a bad thing for him. So he went off all oats and all kind of, so he's on his own different diet that's been subscribed to him. You can't really say what works for you might not work for the next guy. And that's why I got to listen to your body. If your body is telling you, listen, I need fats and oils now, then feed it fats and oils. Don't make the choice of your bad habits become your habits. You can have your bad habits, and everyone does, and it's very important to have a cheat day. Because your body can actually, what do they say, go into metamorphosis and go into like, I really need it, and like, so now you starve it, and then when you do have it, it actually craves so much and you can't stop. So if you need it, eat it, and then just go back to the So that's like, I'm not the perfect ideal person to talk about, to be honest, about diets. I'm talking about, there's some really great experts out on diets, and you just, at the end of the day, as I said, listen to your body and say, this is what it needs this today, this is what it doesn't need, and try stay off like the carbs, like late afternoon, because if you're going into like the evenings of having a carb and you're going into like go to sleep, it doesn't have that opportunity to burn off. So that's also fat. But
Mhm.
then also you hear these women and you hear people turning around and saying, you know, I'm doing this program of eat breakfast, not lunch, eat supper. Not eat breakfast, eat lunch, and not supper. Eat lunch, not breakfast, not supper, or any way they look at it. The
Mhm.
best way I can say it is like, you know, when a woman's like trying to lose weight and she says, you know what, I'm not going to eat now, and then I will eat when I'm hungry again, and so forth. The thing is with that is, and then she looks at the diet and she goes, oh well, I haven't lost weight, I've actually gained weight, and why am I gaining weight if I'm starving myself, and so forth. So look at your body like a fire,
Mhm.
and your food is like coal
Hmm.
that feeds the, and you know, if you don't feed the fire goes out. So what happens is you say, okay, I'm going to diet, and I'm not going to eat breakfast, lunch, and I'm going to eat supper. So
Mhm.
what happens now is your body then turns around and says, all right, well, it ate supper, but hey, I don't know when my next meal's going to come. So you know what? I'm not going to burn it. I'm actually going to store it, and
Hmm.
I'm going to store it, and that becomes fat
Mhm.
because it doesn't know when your next meal's coming. So it's too scared to burn it. So that meal that you do have actually turns to fat, not
Mhm.
really can burn off.
No, that's very well put. And you know, Anthony, the problem we have in our country here is all the gorging and overeating, because such as like, yeah, yesterday, Thanksgiving, it's the biggest day of the year for as far as intake of calories, and we see a huge increase of weight gain here in the United States. And it's just, have you ever partaken or seen like a real American Thanksgiving meal, like a
No, I have.
tradition? Oh, I
Uh,
mean, it's like everything and anything, all high carbs.
is that an invite, Taryn?
Yeah, sure, you got it. Next Thanksgiving, whatever, come here, and it's, you name it, everything's on the menu, and not to mention all the desserts and all the cakes and pies and everything. But I think the usual study they say in statistics for here in our country is about an average of 7 pounds that each person will gain from here to the end of the end of this year, end of the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. So everyone seems to kind of fall into that, and it's kind of like you know, that's just the way it goes, all the holiday parties and, you know, overeating
Yeah,
and drinking and such.
wow, amazing. And you know what? Like, I'm not saying like be restricted and like
Right,
watch it. You
right.
know, do in moderation, and but the problem is you guys have the quick food, the quick access, the quick, and for $1 up you can size up,
Oh yes, yeah.
and it just makes like for you to it's such a strange concept because you know all medical aids and all health practitioners and everyone talk about the healthy way of living, get fit, get that, but
Mm-hmm.
they make it so expensive to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
yet, you know, like, you know, well, to feed a family of, for argument's sake now, for family of 5, please God, in the next few weeks and few months,
Mm-hmm.
you feed a family of 5, to put on a stove and cook for a family of 5 some you know, like broccoli and chicken and this and that and whatever, you're looking at $250, $300,
Mm-hmm.
where I can drive through to a quick stop and get a size up and this and that for $60 for a family of 5 and buy a
Mm-hmm.
family meal, and that's it. So I don't understand why if they're trying to get the society so healthy and better, why they're making it so hard for society and so expensive for society to actually get back to be healthy, because it's a lot easier to be buying junk and
Mm-hmm.
cheaper.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very well said. And, you know, Anthony, also here in our country, what they strategically do is all of these fast food restaurants, they actually will strategize and put them in the inner cities and kind of the impoverished lower income areas, you know, your urban towns, and like right there in the cities of major, you know, cities in the States. And so Whereas in the rural, rural areas where you have more suburban, you're not going to see as many of those choices. But always in the kind of lower income areas, you have here in our country, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, all of the really bad restaurants, and pretty much, like you said, dollar menu and large sizes, and all you see is that just right here in Atlanta. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like, and but how expensive is it overseas or where you are to actually have like a grilled chicken, skinless chicken, and some carrots and broccoli, or some Tasmati rice or something like that you want to eat? How expensive is it to run something like that there?
Well, it's a matter of, it'll be just slightly of an expense, because here in our country, we're having a significant increase in the economy for inflation. So when you go to the grocery store, your bill's going to be about 6-7% higher than what it was. But also the inconvenience to many people of having to cook it like you're doing. Just most people don't want to, and most people are kind of just in a hurry or want to save time, and everything's about convenience here and efficiency. So when you have a drive-through where you can just go in and get your burger and French fries and shake, and it only costs you $5 for one person, versus going out to the grocery store and, like you said, buying grilled chicken or groceries of like broccoli and such, it adds up. So that's, I think, a big problem that we've got here, and it seems like it's just everywhere like that. And I guess on the flip side, it's kind of ironic for people like you and me and Natalie. It's actually a good thing, because economically, financially, it helps us stay in business, so to speak. It's job security.
Sure, absolutely. For you and Nat on your, like, for your doctorate, and you being a doctor and Nat being very good at ketos, I think the biggest thing with this is, don't be scared to share information and learn from everyone, and what works for you and works. And I've got a client that I can teach him to be aware and self-defense and all the abilities to be able to do what they do.
Right.
But they got sugar diabetes, and I actually don't know an eating plan to put them onto. So I'm going to refer you to Natalie, and Natalie will talk to you about the eating side of things. And, so, a lot of people are so scared to cross-pollinate and share information and share advice and share information, because I'm too scared that my client will now get a lot more from you going to and then I'm going to lose their client, and their client's not going to come to me anymore, because but you're dealing with a life. You're dealing with someone's life that can possibly change their life from being obese to having a healthy life, and please God, seeing their daughter walk down the aisle.
And continuing their longevity. And you're right, Anthony, on top of that, not to mention when the client sees you give that kind of trust to them, where you're referring them to an expert like Natalie or a dietitian or a nutritionist, and they get significant value out of that, they'll see what you're trying to do for them. And in my argument, I think, and you would agree, I'm sure too, that you're probably going to win that client over tenfold now, because they know that you have what's in their best interest. So they really trust you at that point. And I think
I'm sorry to talk over you.
No, it's okay.
Problem there all the time.
No, you're good.
You're right. It is. You're not just a paying client. You've now become a personal friend.
Right.
I have an invested interest in you. I want to see change in you. I want to see growth in you. I want to see the longevity of you going through life and healthier and fitter and stronger, and not only in the body, but your mind as well. The mind plays such a huge role in the training side of things, because if your mind is strong, your body is strong.
Yeah, that's true. Very well said. You're right about that. That's very, very accurate. And that's a good thing too, that we have that kind of trust, because it's like you said too, when you build that longevity, it is a return on investment for you, because then you have that client theoretically a lot longer than you would, because you're expanding their life cycle, and they're feeling better, and they psychologically and probably physically are in better health. So when they feel that way, I think that they'll be not only better off as a friend to you, but also professionally. They'll want to continue and increase how they feel in that way.
Absolutely. And also, I think it boils down to the referrals from what you've done to them. They've got someone who's in that same boat, and then they pass your information to the next person. And that's how you build a successful business, is being true to yourself and being true to, would you be putting that in your mouth, or would you be doing that, or would you be doing this? If it was your child, your daughter, your mother, your father, your son, your brother, your mother, whatever, what information would you be able to give them? And don't look at a client as a client and say, okay, how can I give you, what would I give my personal blood, my parents, my siblings or my cousins or whatever? What information would I? You must take into account that that client is a human being, and you just have to be like willing to put out and go that extra mile and help that person to the best of your ability. But on the same token, is that person must also want the help.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all fine and well, you putting in the efforts, and he's coming to a training session, you're giving him an eating plan, and then after he's let's say he's gone to a therapist and he's sat down and he's talking about his depression or his anxieties or whatever, and he's put all the plans into place of, I've trained, I'm eating well, I'm training, I'm trying to eat well, I'm talking to a therapist about my headspace, I'm this, I'm that. And then after that, he goes through to a drive-through and buys a double cheeseburger and chips and a fry. Like what you taking 5 steps forward and 10 steps back.
Yeah.
So your client has to have that initiative to want to do it, and you can put in the effort. But if there's no effort coming from them, you're flogging a dead horse, unfortunately.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. And you're right. It's all about I guess called behavior modification. The fact that, we can't change anybody. We can give them the tools to help change themselves, but it really does come down to them if they're going to want it, and, figure out if they're going to change their own lifestyle.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's right. And that's it. You got to just be accountable for your actions, and the best information or best knowledge that you can give someone else, and pay it forward. Pay it forward to yourself, pay it forward to the next person, because a good turn comes around, and you might not see it in a financial aspect, and but it comes around in a way that is good to you. And just being honest with yourself and being your true you, and giving the best that you can provide to your clientele.
Yeah, and I like what you said too, Anthony. You're right. Those continued referrals, those are some of the best clients you'll get, because when they're personally referred to you, then you already have that trust built in, and those expectations set. And it seems like you get more serious clients that way too, I feel, because if you get, versus like sometimes you get like impulse clients who might say, oh, I might try that, or maybe I'll just do that. Or if the first concern of them is, well, how much does it cost, first of all? And then that how serious are they if they're going to not, take it personally and invest in what that return on investment is for themselves, so to speak.
Yes. I saw a very nice, I'm sure it's been making its rounds, a little TikTok video, which was actually, there's a guy having an interview with 2 people, and he says to them, I'll give you $10,000. How happy would you be? And they're like, ecstatic, like amazing. I said, so if someone came to aggravate you and be upset with you, or whatever the case is, or scream at you, how angry would you get? He said, no, I'd shrug it off. I'd like, nothing would faze me. in cloud nine. I'll be happy. Like nothing will worry me. So the guy said, okay, let me change it. Let me give you $1 million. Okay, but with that, there's one
Caveat.
factor. There's one factor to it. And the fact is that I cannot wake up tomorrow morning.
Oh. Oh, wow.
You can't morning.
That's a pretty big factor.
Yeah, you can keep your $1 million. Why? Because what should we be able to do in life is wake up and say, thank you. Let's change the day. Let's be a better day today.
Right.
Okay, yes. Tomorrow I'm going to make a better day. I didn't complete all my that I needed to do today, but I've been given a second chance to complete them today.
Very well said.
So look at life. Like, look at it. I'm living today as the best I can. And thank God, tomorrow morning, please God, I open my eyes and I can face the new day and be better than I was yesterday and have those changes and everything. And it's amazing how someone can take a concept and say, here's a $10,000.
Yes.
And then take $1 million, but you can't have tomorrow morning. So the rest of your life is gone, finished. Which puts perspective and say, you know what, it's not the money, my life is more important. And as soon as your clientele realize and the penny drops and says, what is your life worth? Do you want to wake up tomorrow morning and see your children and see graduation? And how important is your life of being healthy and getting back into shape and stop eating the stuff that you eat and get training and get fit and be healthy and be a better person than you were yesterday?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's such a great analogy there, and very well said, because it gives you such a strong perspective, and that's what it's about. You're right. And I commend you for just continuing to do such a great job, Anthony. And you know, again, it's always great to connect with you on these videos. And I know that you've got lunch awaiting, so I won't keep you much longer. But before we finish, please go ahead and let everyone know out there what are the best ways they can reach you directly.
Well, they can get hold of me on my email address is segal.krav@gmail.com or anthony@idefend.co.za, or my website is www.idefend.co.za.
That's great. And also, one last question, Anthony, for you too. Are you getting ready and prepared for the holidays, and anything else you have to get done before we get there? We're just about there.
Well, no, I'll train until about the 22nd, 23rd of December.
Okay.
Depending who's here. And then just be aware and keep the body training and the mind strong. And then go from there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Anthony. Like always, you're the man. I appreciate always doing these with you. And let's do another one of these next month. And what you said earlier, this is just so helpful, I think, to the listeners and people watching. So I'll let you go to lunch, and we'll see you next time, Anthony.
Wish your wife well, and breathe.
That's what it's about, the breathing. Oh, Anthony, so we're right under 30 minutes, but it's going to cut me off here real shortly. I was timing